So thanks everyone for joining this webinar. Today we're going to that we have learned while we ran the Figma Skillbuilder challenges. Yoki and I are going through, walk you through the items that we learned and through the best submissions, through the specifications of the challenges, and we are open to any questions you have. So feel free to post in the chat or ask us live. So while you run these Figma challenges, the goal was to have everyone learn the basics and then more advanced features of Figma to build their skills, but also to have fun and win prizes while doing that. And now you might be wondering why Figma. Topcoder already has a history of encouraging people to learn with contests. We did this several years ago with Sketch, and then we had XD, and now Figma is the latest kid, the newest kid in the town. Figma is it's an online application, and it doesn't depend on any operating system, which is very convenient. So no matter if you have the Macintosh or you have Windows, it still works. And another thing is that it's a great collaboration tool between designers and developers, and by sharing prototypes, we can communicate with the customers without needing a third-party tool like the Marvel Handoff, for example. And it's been totally dedicated to UI and UX design for mobile application, web design, compared to Photoshop or Illustrator, some of the other design tools. Last but not least, the customers have been asking for Figma. Don't know if you've seen, but we've recently had a customer, HP, that had their own library with components and all the styles defined and everything that was in Figma. And they were pretty rigorous about how to use their library and styles. So it's a good thing. It's an advantage for you to learn Figma because you can compete in more challenges then. So because of that, we have run these 3 challenges for the Figma Skill Builder. And they were like 3 levels. There's the easy problem, the medium problem, and the hard problem. And each of them had a different number of points based on the name, 250, 500, and 1,000 points. As you know, the problems, if you have competed, the first problem was about an ad manager for a mobile application. The second was for a tablet, responsive tablet design for a restaurant owner, order management. And the third one was for a doctor appointments application. On the right side, you can see the leaderboard that you had for our competitors that joined the challenges. And then on the most right column, it's the total of the points. I think all the top designers did a great job with their work. They implemented components well and all the items to be learned from our challenge. But I was also happy to see we had some new members like Belaudi or Yoshi Azra or IPMN that competed and took a step at this challenge. So the first challenge we had was the Easy Skill Builder Figma challenge. And the problem was about designing an ad manager, mobile application to gather all the ad features from different social medias like the Google, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. The application was supposed to help the marketing managers to take the best decisions on how to promote their ads and how to plan their next digital campaign by quickly understanding the audience, the costs, and everything needed. On another level here, we also had the artificial intelligence aspect, who was supposed to suggest the manager the best solution possible. And for this challenge, we had 2 screens. All the challenges had only 2 screens, and we have provided wireframes to help guide everyone. What the learnings were for this challenge, they were just the base here. We were supposed to help define styles for colors and the text hierarchy, and then consistently apply them across the application. Second item was to design graphs and charts, because in Figma it's very easy to design, especially donut and pie chart. It's just a couple of clicks. Next, it was the layer management. This is important, especially for working with developers, as they have to find their way across, in our files. And then it was sharing links for the projects and prototype. One of the things I'm seeing for the members, especially new members with the Figma prototypes, is that sometimes they share the project link instead of the prototype link. And then if if the copilot misses it, the customer cannot open the files. So it's important to make the difference and know which one to share. And next we're going to showcase like the top 3 designs we have received in that submission. The first was I Am Infinite. He did a great job with the styling of the elements. He went a bit away from the wireframe. He was more creative and showed another page. The colors were well used. The typography was very well used. And most important, he created a very strong design system with everything we learned. Like fonts were very well defined with headings and hierarchy. And then he had a good color styles and layer management. We could actually go into and show you his design. So can you see my screen here?
Yes, Daniela, we can see your screen.
Okay, cool. So this was like the main design, the main pages, screens. And if you go here, we can see the layer management, how he had. And then he added this design. In the challenge, there was not a clear correlation how to move from this screen to the detail screen, from dashboard to the detail. So he added this screen where he would just focus on the Facebook campaign. And then when clicking on it to view the details, would move to the next page. As you can see, the color usage was very well used. Like the high level stats are showing how the element is going in a good or a bad direction. And for the file organization, as I was mentioning before, he has created like a truly solid design system, starting with the headlines, different levels of headlines, and then going to the links and even the paragraphs and the links, and up to the colors. So when you name colors, it's good to group them by primary and secondary colors. And also it's good to name them in particular by the color. So like yellow or green color, and not name them Google color or for what you use, for the purpose you use. And here we can see the buttons hierarchy. Another nice thing that I Am Infinite did, he was showing in every challenge that he submitted what he has learned from. So he was showing like the requirements, and in green you can see his comments with exact reference. All right. Then going next, submission. He's more of a newer member, but he did a great job here. His design was more clean and airy. He used the colors well, focusing on more on the data rather than the background elements. You can see here. He provided extra screens, so besides showing the dashboard and the campaign details, he also showed how to edit the campaign, how to create a new campaign, and then he also completed the other menu items screens, like the insight and automation. Again, he had a strong design system as well. He had even added good interactions between the prototypes, between the screens, and really like how consistent the styles were used across the screens. One of the issues we've seen when reviewing the designs were that some of the members, they have created the elements, the styles for the colors, for example, but then they didn't reuse, they kept reusing the color codes. And the advantages of having defined the styles is to reuse them. So you use the same item across your design and be consistent, And the third submission was usually Ashura for team. We definitely like his design style here. The colors were well used. The layer management was very well done. Um, it had the strong typography and buttons with link definition in the source files. There is definitely a bit of space for improvements, like some of the text could be larger or grouped together, but overall he was right on the good direction. Do you have any questions? Feel free to ask us. And I'm handing things over to Yoki to show us how to actually do a demonstration of the elements that we have explained before. Yoki, you can go ahead and share your screen, please.
Okay, Daniela, thank you for the time. Okay, let me check first. So, yeah, I will out of my camera because I'm afraid it will disrupt the connection. So I want to show the Figma only. Let me share the screen first. Okay. Okay, right now, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So, okay. Um, we need to focus about first, since this is the easy challenge, is it okay to start with the current wireframe? Maybe just like a coloring, add some graphics. I think it's okay because we need to focus how to use Figma properly. So we suggest that we should first define color, text, and effect. We can do this in the earlier stage or the later stage. For example, we want to keep the color usage. We can use color inspiration from the colors.co. We can use this as a color inspiration. Also, we can use the color from the client, from the branding guideline if they provide it, or we can use plugin in Figma. There's a lot plugin. There's a lot useful plugin in Figma. We can use this. I will give you tips. You just browsing here. Figma has a good community. They have like free UI kit, inspiration, and other plugins. So this is this area that you should focus in, and you will back and forth in this section. Just browse plugin, and you can try each plugin, and based on how much the installs is. For example, we have like top plugin. There's a short description about it, and you can try, and then you can install and uninstall it. I think it's very fun to use plugin. It will help your works faster. For example, we have like standard icons, we have material design icon, and we have feathers icon that already allowed in TC policy about third-party clip art. Third-party stock art. So here I will use a color palette plugin just to provide this one. There's a lot of inspiration, or you can add manually or take from the other source. It's okay. For example, this one, and it's already automatically generate. Okay, I will use the previous one. So the first thing is we need to define style. For example, we like to see this one as a primary, so we can set color style, and then we create style. there's a trick here. We can call it primary, and we can give a slash, and then we can say like dark navy, for example. Okay, we can have like two primary color. For example, this one we can also create. So what if we just use this one? And we can use secondary and dark blue. So what the difference between using a slash and the dash? So if you see this one, you can see all your style by clicking the background, your workspace background. So or you can create something here, and you can open the style library. So you can see here that it will not group, but using a dash, using a slash, we can see this Figma created a section here. So actually we can use this trick. You can just drag and drop here, and you can create, sorry, at least you can change this into um, other section. Then you can drag the other. You can directly edit here. It's very free. So right now we have primary, we have secondary. What we need is there's mostly we have like three system color. I prefer to call it. It's just a simple. We can detach this one first. Sorry. Okay, we can take this one. With a yellow. So I prefer to separate, or at least prepare this color, and I call it as a system, or maybe you can like there's a alert and success or something, but I prefer to call it this one. Okay, you can use this one, green. Just copy it. So and so on. So, and we also need sorry, this one we already secondary. We also need to prepare for the text. So usually we can call it as a neutral color. For example, we see there's many except by 333, and this is for the maybe title and heading color, and we can say this one 775, or we can use this one or it's I think it's preferable. You can use the material color, this one, to help understanding what kind of color gradients, color monochrome step. Okay. So we can use this as a title, and we can use this as a body text, and we can use this for disable text or something. Okay, we have like this one. can say neutral, and you can say or maybe this one, because it just we should preserve this name, because maybe in the future we need another black version, so we need to provide this one, the number. Then we can this one neutral, maybe gray. Also same this one. I think we might need this one, like just for a line color. So, let me change the background first. Okay. Can just create neutral and maybe soft gray 01. But I think it's wise to prepare also for the white, because we will use this a lot. Okay. So we have like this one. We can rearrange them. Depends on how many time we go or use this color style. Okay, now we have color style, and right now we should define a text style. Why? Because if we working with many screen, we don't want to change or selecting each text layer and then change to a different color or different size. It's very painful. So I think we should define the text style from the beginning, just to help our work faster. For example, we use this like 30, this one. We can set it as like heading, and we can also use this one, H1. Okay, and you can actually using this one, copy property, and or you can choose directly from here, or you can set it just paste property. Sorry, this one. See, it will use the text style. So right now it says usually we have like a heading, and also we have like subheading. We can use this one. Let's say H1, and we have this one as a body text. And although this is very small, usually we use 16. I think we can create this one like body, and we can use this one B12, or maybe we can change this one. Example, okay, so I want to create this one as body, let's say medium. We can use, or we can use any name that we comfort with. Okay, let's say we can change this one, body. Let's say this is one like small. So what is the benefit if we provide the text style first? So in the future, if we need to change the size, for example, we already apply all the text, all the style to each element, it will be good. For example, this one, okay. And right now we already use this text, already use the body text using the medium size. So right now we have issue with this one. It's not standardized. It's not standard text layer size. So we can directly edit from this one, or we can use this one. So if we want to change like 16, you can see all applied style in text layer will be changed accordingly. So don't worry about this one, because it's just you know, you can use this one. But no, it's look like pretty cramped here. So each text layer, it will be close to each other. We can adjust this, but in the second challenge, in the medium challenge. So okay, we already learned about color, text. Also, what about the effect? You can have many effects. Like for example, if you have like list for this one, you can change it by this one. We call it like a hack, because in the developer they use like a bottom border, but in design tool we usually use by adding a layer shape. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, let me check. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah. In Figma, if you want to apply the inner shadow, you must set this fill at least 0.5% if you want to create like inner shadow with transparent background. So we can adjust this one. Okay, this is the corner radius. Okay, we can change as minus. Okay, so we can use for the effect style. We cannot use the defined color style, so we have to do a manually here by copying the hex file. Sorry, hex value. So this is if you want to use the line separator here, and we can declare it, this cell as line separator. Sorry, bottom line. Okay.
Hey, Yoki, quick question.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Is there a way to copy paste effects then in Figma, like inner shadow, just to copy paste everything
Yes.
and not each value?
Yeah. There's many ways. Yeah, you can just like copy and paste property here in shortcut, or you can directly copy this one, for example, this one. But for the effect, you should copy and paste property. For example, let me separate this one. We should select the applied effect, and then we copy using. Sorry, I'm using the shortcut, so you cannot see it. Sorry. Okay, yes. This one, copy property, and you can right click and paste property. Oh, sorry, apply. Sorry. With property, and then this one. So you can easily to change.
That's great. You can easily define the
Yes.
style, I guess, for some cards, and then change the style with just changing one style there.
Yeah. For example, if you want to add a drop shadow here, you can play with it. This one, you can add this one or more look. But based on my experience, not many client like Dribble style drop shadow effect because it's too distracting in some project. So for example, we have like this one, we can change to white. Okay. We want to see the background using for example, so we can more emphasize the white card. You can see a bit of drop shadow here. We just want to keep this. So you know, style effect. It can be applied anywhere. I mean, you can apply it into a group, or you can apply it into a single layer shape. You can apply it into frame everywhere. For example, okay, let's see this one. So I want to declare this one like soft. Sorry, soft shadow. You know, if we can see this, you know, it's kind of different icon. Can you see this one, Daniela?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's using a different icon. It means this is a drop shadow. I mean, the effect will be applied outside the element or layer. This one, the effect will be applied inside the layer. You can see the difference here.
Yeah, that's good representation.
Okay. Yeah. So you know, okay, we can remove this one from the group. We don't want to mess about anything, so we can just remove this, and we directly select using the layer shape and apply shadow, soft shadow, this one. So and then we can, and then again, I'm using a shortcut, copy and paste property, and apply it to the other layer. And we can also apply all the property here from the color and the layer style also, effect style. So for example, we just want to use this like 16, and we do copy paste property, and we apply it here. It also will be applied as 16. So all the property in the property panel will be applied to target layers. Okay, this one. But in Figma, we cannot save this information as a style. You know, if we want to, for example, we want to, this corner radius will be applied to all style. I think we cannot use this because style will be applied for color, text, and layer effect. So this is for the text effect. Reuse them. Why we should reuse them across the application or across the screen? The answer is consistency. We need to make our design as consistent as possible, because we don't want to change many layers by selecting one by one and then change the color in maybe 20 or 30 screen. It will be painful. So using the effect, we can work more easily and faster. And also right now, or anyone have a question so far?
Yeah, there's a question in the chat now from Sunil Kumar. Is it possible to modify the defined styles? Make it it was applied?
Yes. If you modify, example, this one, it will be changed all across the applied element. For example, we can use this as a color. You can see this one change. So, but if you want to use that, okay. If we want to use this as a base, and then we can and create the different effect. We can detach this one, and from this we can choose like back to 0. Okay, and then we create it again.
And I guess it's the same for all effects, right? Like for the text and for the headings
yes.
and for the colors, right?
Yes, correct.
And that's very helpful. I think one of the use cases for this would be when you want to create both one light and one dark interface, like for a mobile application. I remember some of the designers were doing this maybe especially in some of the challenges for the checkpoint to get the customers waiting, which direction he's going and what he prefers. You can basically keep both the same layout and just change the color palette and adjust very fast.
Yeah, agree. But although there's some rule or we need more step or more work to define dark and light theme, because it's not just switching the color, but we need to adjust it again. So each color will work well with the design visually. Oh yeah, I forgot to address the problem. In the challenge pack and the wireframe, we provide this one, this screen, this size. It's
750
750 by 133 4. So this is actually this for the retina size. It means twice from the default pixel. So in the mobile, why we need higher DPI or higher resolution? Because we want to provide the high quality visual. So if you found this one, but when you start creating this frame, you will see there's no same size with like the provided. So you can ask in the forum about your doubt, about your question. There's Copilot will be available to answer your question. So basically, we will start with this default resolution size. For example, by default pixel size or retina size. Using the 72 dpi for the default resolution pixel. So actually we can use you can use scale to
Yeah, or maybe Yoki, maybe you can show how it looks when played in prototype mode.
Oh
Because
yes, okay.
it's that
Correct,
would be
correct.
more
Yeah.
obvious to people who don't know this.
Yes,
If
we have sample from the other competitor. We'll play this one. What if we create Figma with a wrong size? This is what we got.
yeah,
It
this
looks,
is when it's to export it at 750
yes,
per 3034. And the size to start with was supposed to be like half 375.
yes, correct.
Because then Figma would play it right. I think this is a particular thing for Figma because Marvel doesn't have it. It's just using the 750, and there you have to either create your artboard that size or you have to export it 2x for
Yes.
that size to work.
Yeah, actually we can set this one prototype. We can this one. We can remove this one none. So we can, if we have problem with the size, we can use this one. It will be show properly. So we can remove the frame. For example, this one. But that's not what we want because we want the designer working with the actual frame, predefined frame size from Figma. So we don't have to calculate its element sizes because it will be different if we look for reference, especially using a UI kit, will be found like we will find a different element sizes. So I think it will be a problem. So the solution is from this one is by scaling it into half. Why we using scale, not resize it? Because if you using resize, this one we call resize, it will not work properly. So, but if we, because it has like to do with a constraint setting, so we can use this scale. It will be scalable. But we have problem here. We can see this produce a decimal number, so we don't want that. What if we change this one directly to value, override value? So it will be not detected as rescale. It will be detected as frame resize. So we undo this and we have to do this manually. This is very painful. That's why.
Is there a
Yes.
way to scale manually and precisely? Because it sounds painful to just hit the
Yes.
right size.
Manually, no, but I will recommend that using scale. This one. This is a plugin. This is useful plugin.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good to know there is a solution.
Yeah. So sometime a plugin will be take some time to load. Okay, it's not showing this one. Okay, this one scale. We can do like set this back into this one, or you can use this percentage by like 50% or half it. Then we select this one first, and then we create. Okay, so all of the, even including an effect, for example, we have like this effect, this red shadow, or what if we using resize? For example, I will set this as a scale, so it will be resized. Resize, not a scale. What if we resize this one? Ideally, we hope that this layer size will be properly set when we resize this one. But for example, we use this one. It will look still the same. It's not proportionally sized. We also rescale the. You will check this. You will see this like sorry, this one blue size will be 12. So if we use resize, it will keep as 12. So it will not proportionally with the element. But if we are using scale, let me make this one 50. The effect rescale proportionally. So it should be changed to 6. So this one. That's the tips for what the difference between scale and resize. And design graph and charts, for example, we want to use this one. We want to create, but then we using vector, and then we cut, we break this one, and we create our own. But in Figma we can use this. This is the coolest feature in Figma. So we just create ellipse here. You will see this one is we can adjust this whatever we want, and we can set it back again. What is the advantage using the ellipse, not the just shape like this one? For example, I will this one, and I will change this as a sorry, this one flattened image. It means it will be created as shapes individually. So we have this one, not the whole ellipse. The advantage is we can turn this, we can rotate this one, but we will still have like fixed position about. So we will not worry about which one the correct anchor point. So it will be useful if we working with many. Sorry, I will create this. Will duplicate as you can see here. Okay, I will change this one. Okay. So we will just need to adjust this. It will nicely fit with the background ellipse or charts. We can adjust this one. Oh, sorry, this one. So yeah, I think it's important to keep like this square shape, square sizes. This will create like a donut chart. We can see this one created by our competitor. I think it's Herliansa or something. We can also play with the corner radius as we see this, but this is not, I think not many client like to see this corner radius. So we can set to this back to 0, and we can adjust properly anytime we want. This one. Okay, what if using this one, bar chart? You know, actually there's a plugin here. Yeah, you can try this, but I think it's not good to depends on plugin every time you create a design. we can, if you following the other challenge, medium and hard, you will see we require auto layout. So basically we can use this one, auto layout, and we can set this constraint at the back. So why we need the auto layout? So basically we can adjust anything we want. For example, there's a tip in Figma. If you want to select all the child layer, you can just like go enter, press enter, and it will be automatically select all the child layer. Okay, we can play with this one, and we can also play with the width. For example, I want to 10, and we can play with the spacing here. So yeah, so we can play it any way we want. Okay. Yes, about color. Okay, so I forgot to apply this one. You can use dark navy, and this one you can use white. Can copy and paste the style. We can also area selection and directly to change, or why we need by layer management, like layer naming and grouping. For example, this one, we see this, that this section is not grouped yet, so I think we can create a group one. What the advantage by grouping the layer? So for example, there's a lot element here. We want to change the color. We don't want to select one by one. We can just select the parent group, and you will see this like global color here. You can see this feature also in XD, and we can directly change this one to color. So we can see it's automatically change all the color, black color into white color. Also, if you want to change here, we can see there's many color shade here. We can change any way we want. For example, we can see a lot that we have a 00 hex value. It means we'll use for this one. We want its title using the black one. So we can see it will be applied to every color with same hex value. For example, we want this one, we want to use like, okay. For example, we already create this one using a system color, and suddenly we want to change, client want to change the color, please use orange. Okay, we can just select the parent frame or artboard, and we can choose what color we want to change. We want to change this one into orange. Okay, and layer management, we should this is already managed well. For example, it's already named, it already grouped, even not all using the given correct name, but we can just focus on the bigger section here. So we have a start, like overall impression. I think it's a good way to group. So this one, we want to group and rename it as okay, bar chart. And this one, we want to set a group and title. This one, we can group this one as drop down. It's important. Why? Because it has relation with the other challenge, and it will help you save your work, and it will be help you manage your design pretty well, and will help you a lot if you have like many updates. This one we can set like, sorry, we need like,
Hey, Yoki.
yeah.
I think this layer management is more intuitive and easy to understand because it's something that we should apply in Sketch and XD and,
Oh yeah.
and everything else. So maybe you can move, I mean, show how to share the prototype, simple
Okay.
prototype, or share the project and links.
Yes.
Then to move to the medium challenge.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's great. Just that we're running
Yeah.
out of time a bit, and I was.
Yes.
I hope our audience can still stay with us.
Sorry, guys. Okay. Why we need prototype? Because we want to show this our design to the client. You will see this one. There's a type prototype. Right now, we already preserve the prototype in this layer, in this artboard. So we want to remove this one by move this one and place it to the layer, to the artboard here. But if we don't, if you don't see this icon, you can create first your prototype. For example, how we connect this screen into the next screen. You see, this is a Facebook campaign. For example, we can use this one and directly select this to another screen. If you want to set only Facebook link will be as a trigger to the other screen, you can select the pair layer and then you just drag and set it here. You will see this one on click or maybe hover or something. But as just for a simple prototype, you can do like a click area and instant. So usually, if it automatically set the play icon is from here. It means the first layer will be played marked with this icon. So we can move this one and we can play this one. This simple prototype. In dashboard, we can navigate to different screen, but if we preview it in mobile or Figma Mirror, we cannot change manually to other screen. It must be use hotspot or prototype. As we can see, we have two overlap hotspot here. We saw this in some submission. So the smallest or the hotspot in the background will be disabled and only read by the one in the front layer. So we can check this one. We make sure. Okay.
Hey, quick question from one of our attendees. Is it possible to retain these interactions when we upload Figma files to Marvel application?
Yes, but they're still in a trial mode. I think it's not recommended. It's still not recommended because this one, when we applied, there's an option. Sorry, there's an option if you want to set the connection. But it will not transferred properly in Marvel. Oh, sorry. Hmm? See, you can see this one. You can choose any project that already set. You can see this one. Include prototyping, but it's experimental. It means we cannot hope all the prototype we already created in Figma will be applied well in Marvel. So I think you should be aware with this. So we should back to this one. We can apply this one. Most of the submission is forget to put the hotspot, how to go back to the previous screen, or how to doing a loop prototyping. I think it's important if client want to repeat some flow. So we should better put this one. Let me do a quick feather icon. This one.
Yeah, it's usually helpful in the customer meetings because usually co-pilots or the project managers are presenting the designs, and if there are hotspots, they can easily show the navigation and how to go from one screen to another.
Yes.
So it's good to have an end-to-end complete submission. And this is especially helpful as I've noticed that some of the members are not naming their files well. So it's like 01,
yes.
02, 03, 04, and then you don't know what's the difference. I mean, you can see the difference on the screen, but if it's above the fold and it's something small that changes, it's more difficult to catch up. And then even for the customer, it's more difficult to see, So hotspots are helpful together with proper file naming, like JPEGs naming.
Yes. Thank you, Daniela. A very good point. So we will discuss this one, how to rename the artboard. For example, we just copy this one. Can set directly back, and we can directly apply this one. So we have connected hotspot or prototype. Okay. Yeah. About the when we already finished our design, we will export our design, so we can provide into the submission. For example, I will, usually we should check again what the required screen needed. So this one is using this one, 375. So we will export it as twice. We provide this one, Figma Skillbuilder and submission. Ideally, we want this screen is as a primary screen or number one screen, but actually, what we see or what clients see, it's like this one. It will be indexed by alphabet. That's why I'm suggesting to rename your artboard. You can use any combination. I prefer this one, number. Why I set this one, I will explain later. Okay, and if we have like a same screen but only showing the interaction effect, we can change into this one, and we can rename it as a state, for example, this one. But we can see this one like a very different screen. We can just use this one, like detail page. Why? When we exporting this, it will be well aligned. I mean, will be indexed correctly. This one. Imagine that you only submit this one, and you hope that client understand your screen. It's very impossible, because you will found that your submission or your file, a PNG file, will be randomly adjusted and indexed by alphabet. I think. Is that
Yeah.
your question, Daniel?
Yeah, so that's good. Like naming files, like with the suffix, what you're saying, so the screens can be seen in order. There's also a question to submit to the challenge. I share a prototype or download the images when done. So you should do both. Normally, the customers are reviewing. So as copilots, what you share with them is just the Marvel link. That means that the Marvel prototype or the Figma link or XD link should be well organized. If you have any notes, you should add it there in the prototype, because that's what the customers see. And starting, I think 2 years ago, we are not sharing the files anymore. However, for the top coder system, you still need to share the images like Yoki was showing now, the PNGs or JPEGs, because first of all, we need them for the system. And second, the screener is the one who's going to check your submission for any icons taken from the internet and see that the fonts are compliant. And he's going to check the source file as well, you know. So you have to submit your source, your submission, and your declaration file together with the Marvel link as well, or Figma link, or the prototype link, basically. Hope this answers your questions.
Yeah. Usually I did this after you compress or zip each folder, and then you zip all again, like a preview. It will be 1024 by 1024 size.
Yeah.
And you can set declaration. I mean, like your Marvel link or your Figma link, and other declaration like stock photo and anything.
So yeah, zip everything and submit all the files to
Yes,
the
we
system.
can zip this one and rename my submission or something, but don't use your name.
Yeah, never.
So yeah, I think we already. Oh, sorry. Yes. Which one we should share? Basically, we can share this one from this one. Why? Even you can share this one. I think it's better to copy your link with a different. Sorry, this one. You can see this one, the our source file. It means everyone we invited with the link, we can they can inspect, or maybe as a editor. But if we don't want to make client confused, we just want client to play the prototype, not the inspecting all the element. We can share this one. First, you must go to this prototype page, and then you can just share prototype. Copy.
Yeah, so for the customers, we should always share this link. In this challenge, in the Figma Skillbuilder challenges, we have asked you to share both links because we wanted to look at how the files were organized and structured, like layer naming, components, and these kind of things. But the customers are usually not interested in this. They just care about the user experience and the functionality and how it looks like, you know.
You know that, as you can see, we have two different Figma link. So I think it's very important how to share your correct link. This one. Even yeah, it means it's just a prototype, but in the future, client also can have give a notation here. Also, same with Marvel.
Yeah, they can add comments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will see which one this will apply. Okay, we can see here. Oops, sorry. Okay, it also applied. We can see in the comment or notation in our work file. So don't worry. Okay, then yeah, we already covered the easy challenge.
Yeah, we can now move to the medium challenge. Do you guys have more questions on the easy challenge?
We can save it and talk more in the Figma channel.
Yeah, if you have any questions,
Yeah.
even after the webinar, you can ask in the Figma channel, or you can data message us directly. That's directly message us, so that's fine as well. Okay, I'm going to share my screen to move to the medium challenges. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so the second challenge, the medium challenge, was about a restaurant owner and his employees who have to manage their orders that come in the restaurant. And as the orders come back and go, it is a bit difficult for them to handle so many packages and food orders. So we were supposed to design an application that would make their life easier, where they can see the pending orders, the orders that were, the items that were delivered, ingredients out of stock, and so many other details. This challenge was a bit more difficult. We were asking for the dashboard and the order screen, order detail screen. And as sizes, we wanted this to be responsive, because in Figma, you can have a tablet design, and then if it's properly built, you can just adjust the artboard and have the mobile design directly without building everything from scratch. So the learnings from this challenge first was to create components. That means the master and the different instances. Then it was working with constraints and then auto layout. Responsive design, as I explained just before. Our layouts were, our wireframes had several card components, which is where auto layout could come handy as well. So create cards with auto layout. And then one of the things most of the designers are asked in final fixes is marking assets for export, or just exporting them for the developers. And another thing, which is something that most of the experiment designers use, is having a consistent icon size, which can be achieved using the frames. And pretty similar to the easy challenge, we had the interactions, prototype interactions with the hotspots. And so basically we are showing the top 3 submissions for this challenge. And Herlancia was the best here. I think he had a great color choice. He was very strong with the design system that he created. The styles and the components were great and were used across the design. So even if we didn't specify it in the challenge, we actually wanted you guys to build on knowledge from the previous challenge. So you've learned about creating styles, color styles, and text styles. It would have been nice for that to be applied in this challenge, although it wasn't a requirement specifically. So it was up to you. We didn't want to make the specifications and the ask too much for that challenge. And on the details page, you can see how he's clicking on one of the pickup items, and it's popping up the details for that one. And then came the mobile design. Herlancia also created this design to be responsive. So as I was saying before, just resizing the artboard, it would get us to this design. It was not perfectly, but it was on that direction. And I've seen really just a few, I think probably 2 designers who did that very well. So thank you for doing that. On the next place was M Infinite. His design was definitely clean and engaging. You can see his professionalism showing through. He's been using a lot of images, which bring more flavor to the design as well, and engagement. One of the things that he missed was the adjustment from the tablet to the mobile here, but he had the strong design system created with the colors and with the textiles, the buttons, just like he did for the first run challenge. And then he has used very well the learnings from this challenge using the auto layout features, the cards with auto layouts, and the constraints, different constraints. So all of these were very well documented and properly used consistently across the application. And then the third place is Belodi. He's I think he's a new designer. He chose to go a bit different than the wireframes he had. He's left out several elements. However, his design was totally responsive. So once we resized it from the tablet dashboard to the mobile, things went out great. There are still places for improvements, like adding some of the buttons here and some of the details that were below the fold could have been higher. The images are pretty large here, and we have all the text easy to read at one glance. And then here's very well the components with variants and auto layout features. Yoki, I'm going to hand things over to you back again.
Okay. I think I will work with the Herliansa file first. So,
Sure.
sorry, which one? Sorry. This one. Okay, can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen, Daniel?
Not yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really, I cannot see it.
Wait. Desktop 2. Okay.
It should be at the bottom. Yeah, now I can see it.
Okay. Okay. So we can see this one. This is a button sheet. For example, right now, create component. Why we create component? Because will be applied in many screens. Like I said before, that it is easier just to adjust one master component rather than you adjust all the card here, for example. So usually we separate our component into different pages. Why? We should not include our master component inside here. Why? Because if we change anything, it will be affected in all the instances. For example, this one, it's already created the component in the easy challenge. We also thanks for that. You see this one marked as a master component. So we should separate the master component from the use screen. So for example, you just copy this one first, and it will create instant, and we can cut and paste in the outside. So we have master component outside the screen. What if we don't separate this master component? Like I said before, that if we change anything, it will be affect to others. For example, okay, this one. You see, it will affect in the other screen. Okay, back again to Herliansa. Y component, sorry. When defining or when creating component, we should define a constraint. Why? Because we need to to adjust it in responsive design, or we need the component applied to many conditions. For example, we can see Herliansa have bottom sheet design, but in iPad, but we cannot see this bottom sheet inside the mobile device. So since okay, we already create this one. Herliansa already create in bottom sheet. We can copy this one. And we can see if this is correct, it will be, this is nice. It responsively change the size, but it not break any alignment here. This is a good example in constraint and the component itself. We can just simply copy this, and then we can create overlay. Set it to 30 and just put here above it. So we don't have to worry about if we create the bottom sheet with a wrong size, because it's resizable. So it will fit nicely in many devices, especially when we work with the big files and many devices. We definitely will need responsive. So let's break down this, how the constraint set. Constraint mean each element will be stick to in several positions based on their setting. We will break this one, or we will detach the instance. So we see that this using a frame and using auto layout. Why auto layout? Auto layout will be helpful if we just change the content. It will be automatically adjust the length and adjust the space and the position of the next layer. Okay.
Are there some use cases for auto layout to be more used? Like, for example, buttons maybe, or navigation?
Oh, yes, yes. Yes. In iPhone, or in mobile, usually we already have like predefined button. Usually we use, sorry, this one. We use like almost full width button. We can use like this one. This is the good, very good example. This one. But the problem is, as we know, that it's not center and it has different sizes, you know. So what we need is just set this as a responsive. Sorry, this one. Resizing, we have like fixed width. It hard content means it will change based on the child layer. As we can see, this one, it will be automatically readjust the width. But we want to usually in mobile we want this button is equal. So we can set this one into a center, or maybe like we can set constraint whether we want to stick it to the top and center and right top left corner, or anything you want. So, and now this is a constraint. Let me show this. If you are not using an auto layout, we can remove the auto layout and we can see the frame. You can inside any element inside the frame will be have constraint setting here. I will show you later what's constraint mean. Right now we want to adjust this one evenly, so we can set this one by fill container like this one. So we can, okay, let me check this one. We can override the instance directly. That's the advantage using the Figma. Okay, we can go deeper into the second level. So it will automatically select all the layer by pressing enter or return button. And we can set the constraint into fill container. Right now, you see that we have like a full, like this one. But the problem is this one. Why there's a gap here? Because we have set the right padding like this one. So if we want to, basically we want to zero padding, we have like complete full width button size. So we don't want this one. So we will follow the margin. I think it's using 24. You can set left and right padding like 24. So as you can see, the our button is readjusted automatically. This is why many designers are using Figma right now. It's so easy to change everything, but without setting it one by one. Okay, this constraint. What if I have constraint like this one? This is very basic. Sometimes we want to adjust the height, but other element, it's like, sorry. Sometimes we found some element or layer is moving like this. It means it not correctly set the constraint. Sorry, my English. It's not, the content is not set correctly. So we want this element stick to the top while we adjusting the height. So we simplify this one. Okay. Now we can set this one. We see the problem that we want this bottom navigation always stick to the bottom when we adjust the height. So first thing we should group this one. We can create group or we can create auto layout, whatever you want. Set group, and then we put this one at the bottom and set the constraint to the bottom. So every time we adjust, it will be stick to the bottom. So also just like sample for this, for example, we just for the horizontal sample. This is what happen if we adjust for another device like mobile or desktop. We will see this one oftenly. Yes. Once again, we check this constraint and selected all the elements that move weirdly, and we solve this one by set the constraint. It means that it will be stick to the left. But if we want this text size will be grow, we can use this one, left and right, or scale. The different scale, it still stick to the left, but it will be add more width. For example, oh sorry, I'm mistaken. Sorry. Yeah, both will be okay. Sorry, it's if we set it left and right, means that Figma will set the left position stick to to the frame left side, and then this one will be count from the right section. So as we see that, we can see that this is using a 45.7 pixel distance. So if we set the left and right, you can see this one. The left side is 26. When we adjust this one, it should be maintain the position. You will see this is not moving because it's a different layer. If you want to set this as a polling, you can set this one scale. You can freely try an error setting here, so you know what the different from each selection. As we see, it maintain the size, the padding size. So it will keep the 457 pixel. Okay, that's for the constraint. So we can create the auto resize component, also responsive, and export assets. When we doing the handover to the developer, sometimes it's very painful for the developer to inspect each element from this one and grab it or download it one by one. It's not good. So what we can do, it's better to provide the asset and rename its asset properly. So for example, if we not rename the asset properly, it is only named by icon. What is inside icon? Okay, this one icon. Yeah, I see this one using using a variant. This is not. I don't know, some of designer using icon variant is using feature variant, but I think it's not. It's difficult if we set the icons library as a variant. Why? Because when we export it, it will be named with the same name. For example, we want to export this one. You can set it as SVG usually. You can see this the size, and we can export icon. For example, create this one asset. As we can see, okay, this one will have name icon. What if we export the other one? It will have the same name icon, which means we will have an issue here.
Is it possible to export them from that screen before where they're all lined up? To export them like bulk select and export them all at once?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, actually we can select this one, but it will have a weird name. Let's see.
Yeah. Maybe you can add a suffix or something.
Okay, we cannot. If we select this one and export, okay, let's see. It will use the layer name. Yes, you can. Yes, we can see the name because the designer already give the property here. I mean, variant we use property to identify its this one.
Yeah.
This one. This is a property. You can see at the property, this one. Okay.
Okay, so still good to name your layers and
yes,
create separate.
Yes, this is the good case. I mean, in some way, I will give suggestion. We can use the, I mean, the master component. If we are using a many icon, we should name this one as just an icon. For example, if we see this actual name, it will be a menu icon, but when we apply it into a master component and a nested component, we should name it as a generic layer. Why? Because if we change the state, it will keep the icon. I will show you this one. For example, I'm creating the button navigation or tab bar. Before that, I already create using variant, using this different two state. I mean the active state and the default state. And then, as we can see that I also creating the variant for the number of the navigation. What will we see here? If we not name the layer, this one generally, as you can see that this icon, each icon has a different name. We can see that if we change this one into an active state, this is what will happen. It will change into the default or the master component. So we don't want to see that. What we want is this one. We can change to name as an icon. This one. Usually change the icon here, or maybe just icon. Okay, and you can see it's already applied here. Oh, sorry. Yes, I think I cannot show you the example. It will need time to adjust the whole example. What I mean is, if we working with many components and we have some variant, we need to use the generic component name. For example, we have like nested component and we have a different icon. I think it's better to use this one, just the generic icon.
So then you use the generic name for the icon, and
yes,
then for the variant use a specific name?
No, this only applied for the instance, but not the master component. And as we can see, this is an instance, right? If we go to the master component by the shortcut or this one, we can the go to main component. We can see this one is still using the original name. So we just override the instance, not the master component. So that's why we should prepare the component. Why? Well, why we should use a master component? Because we need to export using the, sometimes we need to export each component using a different name. So it's better to name our component properly, so we can directly set this one and just export it. Export them into SVG. What the different about the slash, it will be automatically create folder. For example, we have like this messy asset by we can see this one how it works. So we can save, export, and we can see that it's automatically create the folder. So we have nicely well organized export assets by um, having proper naming convention. Okay, yeah, I think we already covered the export asset. Any question, guys, before we continue?
No questions so far. One
Yeah.
of the things I saw when working with developers was that we can share with them the project prototype, like give them access as viewers, and they can export the assets themselves. Because this is an online tool and it works. I'm not saying to do that or us to be lazy. I'm just saying that in some cases when they need access to more items or images
Yes.
or stuff, we can just invite them to the project, and as it's online, they can just get anything and mark images as they want for export, or icons in the vector format or anything, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Just imagine how developer work if we have like 100 icons in many screen, maybe 80 screens. Uh, uh, Imagine how painful they will select one by one and export it one by one. It's very time consuming.
Yeah, I think here, so you know how in Sketch there is that symbol library, I mean symbol page where all the, everything you make a symbol, it automatically gets added there. I don't think we have that in Figma, because from Sketch you can just select the icons and everything you made the symbol and export them without
Oh yeah.
going one by one in the file. But here you gotta be more organized with the files and stuff.
Yes, I forgot to mention about the how we create an icon. Usually we have like standard icon using like 24 pixel and then 32, 40, and so on. So what we should do is we should prepare like this one, this creating frame. We can set it as like 24 by 24, and we can create any, for example, any icon. So make sure we have padding. Usually when we use 24 by 24, usually the main icon, it's only 20 by 20, but it's different from, it's different each person, which one they like, but mostly uh, this is what will we see if we use like feathered icons or something. So why we need frame as a bounding box? You can turn off this one because we need consistency. That's why. But for example, we will see this one email. Okay, let's use this one. What if we don't use a bounding box, right? What if we just use the shape and then we just convert it as a component, as a okay. This is what we get. Can set this icon, okay, name, and then we can create component by shortcut, and we can also do this one wallet, and we can create as a component. Okay, this is look nicely. Okay, but we can see it has different sizes. You know, if we use this in this case. Sorry. Okay. Using background. Okay. Uh, For example, we already use this one. It should be fit by 24 by 24. So we have this one. Okay, let's see what will happen if we change this one to this one, wallet. It will not translate properly here. Okay, we want to break one. Okay, we set. We see that we will have different sizes, or it will not consistent. So we change back again into time. You will see that some layer will be pushed down because it has a different sizes. That's why we need a bounding box to make the assets consistent. That's why. So we can get it and at the 23. Okay. I think we already covered the whole material from the medium challenge. Any question, Daniela?
No, nothing so far.
Okay.
Nothing on the second. I guess
Okay.
it's more easy. No, not many questions than on the easy challenge. Not sure what's happening. Hope
Okay.
everyone is still listening to us.
I hope not. Please, you can continue.
Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so going forward, we're getting to the hard challenge. Looks like I did a typo. This is the hard challenge, sorry. And this challenge was about helping a doctor see his upcoming appointments and what type they are, and as well as seeing details about the upcoming patient. This will be important for him to get the notifications and any messages on his dashboard. And then he could also use other sections of the application, such as the calendar, the reports, patients area, and departments. This challenge was focusing on desktop laptop size, and we've had two screens, the dashboard and the appointment details on. The learnings from this challenge was to define variants for the components, to do advanced prototyping with hotspots. And we have also reinforced the use of the items learned in the medium challenge because they are pretty much basic now and the core of working with Figma, like having components, defining constraint, and auto layout feature. And we're showing here the design from I Am Infinite. He went above and improved the wireframes. You can see how he created the different statuses for the call buttons. Here you organize the right section area to have the chats, the notification, and the messages, and pretty much the left section area as well. What we like was also that he built on the knowledge from the previous challenge. He used all those components, the color styles, the text styles defined, and then the auto layouts and the car components were very well built inside this was. Moving forward, we have Herlantia. His design was like very much fit for a doctor application, and I'm seeing these colors is like perfect for doctor application. We like the structure of it and the hierarchy that we're seeing. Tasks and reminders are above messages, so you can see both at the same time. He's also showed both call and audio call and video calls for the cars. That was a nice improvement. And he as well had a strong design system, just like I Am Infinite. what we would have liked for this design was to see more of the animations. And I know that we have had just two screens, so there's not a lot of space to play here. Just maybe some small animations could have seen. So Yoki, I'm handing things over to you.
Okay, then yeah. Before that, I think we should answer this one Q&A from Sunit Kumar. Is there any 2021 version for TC guide in Sketch? Yeah,
It's the
sorry,
same
TC guide kit, GUI kit.
Sketch. It's the same
Yeah.
version. We have just a few small updates that we'll do, but that's adding some new components. But it's pretty much the same thing, and I'm going to update the naming to be the 2021. And then the other question is how easy is to import the sketch files into
Yeah.
Figma?
It's super easy. Sorry, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, let me show you. First, we can go this to Figma and sorry, file. You can new file, start. Oh, wait, it's not working properly. We can set this one. New file. This there's a import. I can say it's will be converted nicely, but if the problem is appear if we use a specific or many plugin from Sketch and then we want to convert it in Figma, it will not translate properly. So I think it's better to keep your sketch design as using a basic feature only. Let me show this one. Okay, so sketch. Okay, I don't have any file. Okay, I don't have sketch. Let me. Um, no, not this one. Okay, for example, I have this one in Sketch. I want to open it in Figma. As we can see, it's already there. Okay. It will translate nicely, like master. It can be we call it symbols. It will be. It's still there. You know this one. Oh, sorry. This is from the. Sorry, I think it's one of the challenge. So I think we'll not use this. Well, at least we can see that it still keep the page from Sketch, and it will be keep the original elements. But if we are using too much plugin, I think it will not translate properly in Sketch. Okay.
Yeah. We also have an article written in Stripe by Benny.
Okay.
How to use source files across the Sketch,
nice.
XD, and Figma. Yeah, that was a great article. Thank you, Benny. Maybe you can check that article as well and come with any questions that you might have.
Yeah. Okay. I think we already covered this one. Create component variants. Why we should create variant? For example, this one we already set variant because we know the goal of creating a UI kit is to make it consistent, but we should consider how we manage our design system or UI kit is efficiently. which means we don't have to create a component as a variant if we don't need it. For example, you can see this, we have like a red button here, but actually in this case, we don't see it with the red button. So I think it's good to delete the unused component. It will make your working file faster. So I think it's nice to create the variant. Why? Because we change easily. It's just the example of override. Let me show the example. If I create a screen here, this one, and I call it from the asset, it will be just set the button. Okay, it's only one button. Okay, so the variant actually it just created a shortcut or the easiest way to override the component. As we can see that we already have this property, we can change this one easily into a ghost, into a loop button, or we can change sizes. We can set the icon head, tail, or off. We can set the dangers or something. We can set okay, standard, maybe fill. Set like sorry, state normal or disable. This is the advantage using the variants. But if we are not using variant, basically we can just override everything here. For example, we can select directly. Since I'm using frame, we can show this one. I want to change the background. So we can see this one that I want to create this button as we can see this actual state, it's still disabled. I want to override it manually and set it as active or normal state. Can change this one using gradients. Sorry, for example, this one. And then I can change the text using the white one. And then I can override by 42, by 48. So yes, we can override manually, or we can do it the easiest way by switching this one. We can set it back to original. That's it, and we can change from this one. Why? To make it consistent. Nice. Okay, this is the showcase of creating components and variants if needed. So we already see. I think it's not necessary to create the icon as group it as a variance. But for button, I think it's necessary, and yeah, and you can do that in also in card. For example, we can just name it as card. What I was doing was like just select this one and just quick copy and doing paste outside the variant, because if we doing copy and paste inside the variant, it will be create another property here. It will create another master component. So we don't make sure that we test our component or variant, copy and paste outside the variant. So we can see this one. For example, I want to change the type. I want to change this. Actually, this is not the proper way to name or distinguish each variant. I think it should be a simpler more simple way. So just
maybe you can show like a simple example with the button
yeah.
state or something from scratch.
Yes, I think the button state is already good. We can check this one. Sorry, this one we can see button. We can primary. This is primary contain outline. This is the button type. So it will use simple but generic name just to make just to distinguish the each state. So for example, I will name this one like um, order maybe. I will change this one incoming order. Okay, yeah, ready to pick. I can name it just like a big card, and then I can override this one because as we can see, it's or we can create a separate variant by naming this one. Sorry, just like we can naming it as order card. Then and inside it we can use, for example, let me show it. We can talk out and we can create combine as variant. We can see this property. It means we can change like the type or state or something. Okay, we can name this one income card and then incoming order. Okay, then we can set like this one like default, and then this one like pick up. Sorry, ready. I mean pick up and deliver. Which means it's ready. Yeah, I think this one is ready to pick up 3. I don't know. Oh, sorry. It just the timer. The difference is just in timer. I think we don't need to set it as a variant or master component since the difference is very small. You can just override the color rather than creating the whole master component and variant. Yeah, we can just set this as one. Sorry, as just a 2. Mean this was default or confirming, and this one is ready. So if we copy this one, it will be as well. We can paste. We can see that the instance will be named as a card incoming order, and we can see this one ready. So if we want to change this one, override delivery, and if we too lazy to selecting each layer because sometimes it will be select the wrong layer, we just select the parent instance or maybe parent frame, and we can adjust the global color. Here we can set save, so we can do that easily. Yeah, this is a good responsive. Okay, Daniela.
Yeah.
That's
So I think the last thing we have is just one thing for the advanced prototyping.
Yeah.
So showing some transition, something simple for
Okay.
the time.
Yes, this is a very simple prototype. Just only triggered by clicking. What if we want to mimic the actual apps experience? We can bring it to. We can show it and play it in the real mobile phone. So for example, the prototype, prototype, it's the advanced prototype. It's meant to play in the actual devices. So if we play this one, can see this one mockup, but it will be weird if we are doing the interaction using the mouse, not the actual gesture. This one. But if we are using the Google Meet, I think I can share the actual my mobile phone, how it behave or interact just like real app.
You can probably set a timer or something, right? So
Yes,
they move themselves in Figma to advance to the
correctly.
next slide. Yeah.
If you can see this,
Yeah.
can you just moving because we are using GIF?
Yeah, it's moving. I can see it.
Yes, that's what we want to by creating or playing advanced prototyping. We can use this like by dragging or swiping. Okay, then we can set this one. Sorry, this one. You know, you can see the transition here. It push the screen, but it also provide the smart animation here. So it behave like real apps.
Yeah, that's very nice to see that.
And for example, let me, you can see this one. You can scroll this one. For example, sorry. Yeah, there's something, there's some interaction that Marvel or Invention cannot show. But for the prototyping, I think XD offering the better prototyping with 3D feature. I think you can play your prototype with a 3D feature.
Oh, 3D features. Yeah.
Yes.
That's nice.
I think that's what we want to see in the advanced prototyping.
Can you show how one of these
Yes,
transition is done in Figma?
let me share this one. I mean, creating one.
No, you can just yeah, either show from a designer or from you how
Oh,
you
okay, okay.
created like how where the settings are and
Oh, I see. Okay, this one. Okay.
on the right side there.
It will be mess if we if you want to open the prototype, you will see many wires connected to each other.
Oh.
For example, yeah, this is a splash screen. We just want to see this screen only just a few, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. We can set this one after delay. So we can, there's many trigger. What kind of trigger we want to set this one? We can set after delay, or we can dragging or typing and something. Yeah, this we can see this one. It has auto or smart animate. Smart animate means we will create animation using um, uh, many layer. Means we must have like a hidden layer just to create a smooth interaction. And for example, we want this one as a drag, means that user should drag left or right to create the screen transition. Since this is mobile and we will play this prototype in our mobile phone, I think the trigger is suitable for this one, dragging, while dragging. We cannot use this one most lift is same like hover. So it will not translate it will not show properly in Figma Mirror, especially for the mobile showcase. Yeah, I think there's advanced prototyping that this Figma prototype, it can be played as a mini game. I will share the link in channel and Slack channel. The designer set the prototype and played the prototype uh, just like mobile game. So yeah, but it's still beta version in Figma. Figma offering each prototyping can be done inside the master component. Means that we just create a variant and we can set directly to this one. This one. Okay.
So basically, you can set any button that on hover, it will change the state
Yes.
to the outline button, let's say, for example.
Yes. Yes. So that button is just a simple case, but um, when we not using prototype inside the master component or variant, we need a lot of screen just to show each interaction. For example, we need to provide this 3 screen just to create interaction that we can show its onboarding slide. But using the beta version, we just need only one single screen, this one, and the animation or the interaction will be set inside the master component. So it will save your screen, because maintaining a lot of screen is also painful. Not to mention if you just change color or maybe change position or behavior, it will you should check it one by one to its connected screen. It also happened in Marvel, I think. Okay, Daniela, that's for the advanced prototyping.
Okay, I think we've covered it all. There are no more questions in the chat.
Yeah, we can show this one, infinite. Why it's so cool? This one.
So many accounts here. Okay.
Yes, because when we working in many project, actually Figma offer quick switch between accounts. So yeah, this one we have like several switch account, because each account is a different project, different teams. So let me see. Okay, I see this one. This is infinite prototype. As you can see that the first screen is it's here. I think, yeah, if we want to show this screen to client, we should set the first play icon like this one. This one, we can drag it to the screen that we want to show it first. So you should, yeah.
And it's usually a good idea, if you have notes for the customers in the challenges in general, to just add them in Marvel on a screen rather than add them in the text file, because the customers don't check the text files, just to know.
Yeah.
Sorry, okay, go ahead.
Okay, as you can see here, we can still count it as an advanced prototype. This one, as you can see, this one, it not triggered by any action, but only after delay.
Yeah, it's very nice setup.
Okay, and okay. Sometimes client will confuse when they see there's a hotspot here, but if they click it, it cannot do anything. So usually we should tell the client how we want them to interact with our hotspot. For example, uh, this hotspot need to be slide or maybe swipe. So that's a good point. I think it's better to inform this interaction to your user. You can add note or comment here. Please drag or swipe this card. Just for example, you can add post or you can just client note. You can add this one. So when client visiting your prototype, they will know what need to do to interact with your prototype. Okay, you can see this one. As we can see, it's just a simple prototype. Just click and then it will change instantly to the next screen. This is also the good example for advanced prototype. Prototype means it means that we can see a skeleton here. It usually appear when we are waiting loading screen. We see this a lot in top builder website, right? It's not loading.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we see that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good example by good prototype by I'm Infinite. Oh, I just forget to inform that. Be careful when you put your hotspot. Sometimes it also happened in Marvel when we put our hotspot uh, in the bottom position. When we hover it, it sometimes will be covered by this information. So we can set this one. Okay, we will wait this those disappear. Go away.
Just copy sharing link or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I think it will go.
Okay, copy. Okay, I see.
See,
Okay, okay. Thank you.
that was a button
Yeah,
to
yeah,
interact.
yeah. So we can actually interact with this one. As you can see that I already explained you why we need carefully to use the how to put this one how to put the hotspot. As we can see here, we have like two hotspot here. One is the whole card and one is the Facebook link only. So if this will be set as a different screen in a different interaction, it will be not work. So I think you should set your hotspot carefully. Okay, Daniela, any question or maybe suggestion?
No questions so far. I think that's good. Like this pretty much covers the hard challenge requirements.
Okay, I will stop sharing screen and
You can continue with.
Yeah, I think we're done at this point. We are just open to any more questions if you have something. And if not, thank you all for watching us, following things with us. We hope this was useful and that you learned something from it. We plan to relaunch the Skill Builder challenges in 1 or 2 months again. So if you pay attention, this knowledge will definitely be useful, and you can also apply it in the customer challenges and all over. And feel free to reach us with questions on the Figma channel or by email or on Slack, wherever you see fit. And thank you, Yoki, for giving us this great presentation and technical explanation.
Thank you, Daniela.
So have a great day, evening, night there.
Yeah, you too,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.